Hello, how are you doing? So I heard this thing last week, and I'd heard it maybe a few years ago, and I really wanted to come on here and share it with you because it inspired me all over again, and it just makes a really good few points around massive growth, expansion, perseverance, doing the things that most people aren't prepared to do. So I wanted to just share this kind of quick little demo of it, right? It was really reminded me of a few things, so I wanted to share it with you. So you might have heard this before, so comment below if you have, but let people kind of make their own decisions maybe before you comment. So it's this idea of imagining if you were given a choice, right? And just put yourself in the scenario where you and all your friends are each given a choice of whether you get given £1 million or $1 million, or whether you get given 1p or 1 cent, and it doubles every day for a month, for 30 days, and you can choose which one you want. So just kind of tuning in with yourself and asking yourself, well, which one would you choose, right? And of course, like, it sounds, most of us would sound like, yeah, the $1 million, please, like, thank you very much, I'll take that. And yeah, that's kind of like the natural sort of, maybe the quick decision, right? But if you actually sit and you do the calculations, which maybe the majority of people wouldn't do, I'm hoping that they would, it might surprise you, the results. So I want to just kind of talk you through, like, what would happen if you decided you wouldn't opt for the £1 million or the $1 million, and you decided to opt for this other way of having 1p, 1 penny, and then you get double each day. So imagining you're in this scenario, and imagining that your friends, maybe you've got a group of friends, 3 or 4 of them, and they all chose the $1 million or the £1 million. So on the first day, you get 1p, not exciting. On day 2, you get 2p. On day 3, it doubles, you get 4p. Next day it doubles, you get 8 pence. And then it doubles again, you get 16 pence, right? Not very exciting. So by the end of the first week, you'd have 64 pence, right? And it doubled each day. So your kind of net value is, 64 pence. And your friends are out there and they're doing their thing, right? They've had their $1 million. And maybe if you know what your friends are like, they might have gone and traveled. They might have booked a few exciting things to do, adventures. And you're kind of regretting maybe your decision by now, and you're feeling like, holy crap, it's 64 pence or cents, so this is not really, I didn't really make the right decision. So then week 2 comes and it just doubles each day, and it's like, so day 8 you'd be on, hold on, I got these figures completely wrong now, no, sorry, day 8, you'd be on £1.28. You'd be doubling it the next day to £2.56. Day 7, next day you'd be £5.12. Next day you'd be double that to £10.24. Next day you'd be on £20.48. Then you'd have £40.96, and then by the end of that week you'd have £81.92, right? So I think these figures are right, but you get the message. It's like doubling each day. So by the end of the second week, you've got like £81.92, and your friends have now had 2 weeks, right, of enjoying that $1 million that they were given. They're out there partying, doing the things, and you're just kind of grafting away. And imagining that each day to go and receive this money, you've got to, I don't know, go out, walk up a steep hill, kind of get out of your kind of comfortable place of where you live. You've got to put your boots on, you've got to kind of hike it uphill, and it's not the best journey, but you do it anyway because you agreed that you'd be on this like weird experiment. So 2 weeks in, it's not looking very promising, right? And you're really probably by now second guessing your decisions, not having a great time, really just feeling like just throwing the towel in, giving up altogether. And you're watching everybody else, enjoy themselves. They're on a great holiday by now, sending you a postcard maybe, right? Like maybe rubbing it in your face a little bit, and you feel like you're the one left out, and it's life isn't so fun, but you carry on anyway. So then imagining then each day it doubles, and then you're in week 3, and now you're on, say, like £163.84. So we'll just skip ahead a little bit. Like next day you're on, a few days later you've gone to £655.36, and then the next day it's doubled again. So it's 1,310.72. It doubles again, 2,621.44, which, you know, is okay, but it's like you could have had a million. You could have had a million and you turned the million down. So it's probably feeling a little bit, you know, crappy by now. And then the next day it doubles again, so £5,242.88. And then by the end of that third week, when it's doubled again, it's 10,485.76. So you've got like 10 grand. 3 weeks in, you have 1 week to go, and you're so far away from that million, right? And your friends are out there now, like really doing the wild stuff, and you're just feeling really resentful maybe, or just exhausted, and every day you've had to get up and walk up that hill, that steep hill, and you've collected this money, and it's doubled, and it's, you know, it's maybe you've calculated it wrong, you're thinking. So a lot of people here, after that third week, you've only got 1 week to go, right? You've just got 1 week to go, would give up, right? It would be so normal after that third week to just totally like throw the towel in. And at that point, most people would, I think. They'd be looking outside, they'd be thinking, I'm going to follow that blueprint, I'm going to follow what those people out there, you know, have chosen. Or you just think this is bullshit, it's not working. But let's see what happened in the last week, right? And of course, if you've heard this before, you know where it goes, but I think it's such a great message to receive. So day 22, then you get to 20,971.52. Day 23, 41,943 pounds and 4p. If you're just joining me and you don't know what I'm talking about, please do rewind and watch from the beginning. You get to day 24 and it's doubled, and it's 83,886 pounds and 8 pence. And then you get to day 25 and you're thinking, shit, I'm like 5 days away from day 30. I'm £167,772.16. Now that's a lot of money, that's a good sum, but your mind is thinking, I could have had a million. So you're looking at your friends, and you know, they're doing their thing, they're still partying, they're having the best time, and you know, they're like, they've got a million. This is so far away from a million. You're never going to make, how are you going to ever make this million? That's your goal, right? And then let's just see what happens in the last few days. And again, people would give up here. They think, oh, there's no point, I'm nowhere near a million, I've only got a few days left, what's the point? It's just not working. But then imagine you continue, and then you get to day 26 and it's £335,544.32, still really far away from a million. Then you get to day 27 of 30 days and it's £671,088 or dollars and 64. And then you're thinking, okay, you're 671,000, you've got like 3 days left. A lot of people there would just take that and stop, right? Just, that would be good. That would be like, great, I made 671,088 pence, right? Let's say that. We've got to get to that stage. And then what happens in the last 3 days, if you didn't give up and you just kept going anyway, even though you're looking at your friends over there, they've made that million, they took the million, it was easy for them, they just took it and they did it. You've been slogging your guts out all this time with very little, you know, compound effect. It's been building, but those first couple of weeks, first few weeks, very, very low. But let's see what happens in the last 3 days, right? This is my favorite bit. So day 28, when it doubles, you get to 1,342,177 pounds 28. You finally break through in the last few days. If you'd have given up on day 27, you'd have been at 671,088, but you didn't. You kept going. So you're now at 1,342,177.28. Day 29, because you kept going, 2,684,354 pounds 56. And then you just kept going. You made it to day 30. You stuck it out all the 30 days. You made it to day 30, and then you finally reached day 30, and you have £5,368,709 and 12 pence. That's 5 times more than your friends, or you could have accepted if you'd have just said yes to that million on day 1. And because you didn't, you kept going, you kept going, you kept going. You created 5 times the amount with no evidence along that journey that you were going to do that, because it looked pretty damn hopeless, right? At the end of the first week, you were 64p or cents. End of the second week, 81.92. End of the third week, 10,485.76, and you had 1 week to go, and it looked so unlikely that you were ever going to make $1 million. But because you stayed the course, those last few days, this is why I love this story so much, the last few days you not only hit it, but then you times it by 5. So while all those friends of yours were out there enjoying that 1 million, you stayed the course and you made 5. So I love that story because it reminds us, doesn't it, that if you give up, most people give up. Most people, they don't stay the course, and they give up just before the tipping point. And I've probably done this in various parts, like in my life, you know, in times of like I've been trying to do this and I've switched direction and maybe I've moved over here, and I'm sure you have your examples of that. But it's so important to remind ourselves of the power of staying the course. Staying the course. Like I've been in this online space. This summer will be 7 years. 7 years, right? And if I looked at my progress, some of it I'm so like happy with, and some of it I'm like, this is slow. This is not how I'd want it to go, right? And you know, we can all do the comparison, but in those 7 years, nearly 7 years, I've seen so many people, especially in this online space, come and go, come and go. They come out of the gate really enthusiastic about their goals, what they want to do, and then somewhere along the line, they just fall away. And I've seen this so many times. So I want to encourage you, and it's not to kind of feel bad about yourself if you've done this, because I've done it in loads of areas. I've just given up and I've not stayed the course. But I tell you, when you do stay the course in the areas that I've chosen to, it really, really, really pays off. And then most people, and I love this story so much because most people, they give up, and it's not usually they've given up really early. They've often given up right at the tipping point. And that's the thing. That's what the message is always. It's like people, and my guides are always telling me this when I'm tuning in with people as well. And they're always reminding me, it's like most people, they give up just as it's about to turn. And then they don't see the evidence. And because they don't see the evidence, they mistake it for it's not possible for me, or it's never going to happen, or it's okay for other people, but not for me. So I really want to encourage you, because one of my things I think that's got me through the hardest things in my life, the biggest transformational things in my life, like getting out of a toxic relationship years ago, recovering from debilitating chronic health where doctors said, nah, antidepressants and, you know, some graded exercise bullshit, right, wouldn't have worked. There were so many reasons, you know, when I qualified as a lawyer or just whatever I overcame, there were so many reasons why that I could have just given up. And so many times when I could have just thrown it in, because there was no evidence. There was no evidence in front of me that I was ever going to get this thing or move through this period or reach the goal or create the outcome I wanted to create. So I want to just remind you right here, right now, whatever the thing is, because we all have something that we want. It could be, whether it's a health thing, it could be we want a relationship, or we want to change something about ourselves, create an online business, bring in clients, bring in more money, make some kind of significant change, see some result in some area. But we fall for the reality in front of us. So I want to encourage you to just start seeing beyond that. You've almost got to have this pinpoint laser focus of just like, you're looking here and you're only looking here. You're looking at where you're going. And even if you don't believe it 100% all the time, it's just because I don't always believe in my journey 100% all the time. But what I know is that I'm going to look and see the outcome, and I'm going to hold it in the back of my mind, even if I don't see any evidence of it. And especially because I don't see any evidence of it. And that's the mindset it takes to do big transformational things. So I want to just shine a light on that, because we see a lot of stuff out there on social media of people having very quick results or quick fixes, or they did this thing and it was amazing and they got all this money, or they did this thing and they went out on one walk and they found their love and it was just all so easy and effortless. But often there's so much behind the scenes that we've not seen, or we just don't remember that there was a point where that person could have just turned around and given it up, but they didn't. They stayed the course. So where do you need to stay the course? Where do you need to remind yourself that you've decided this is where you're going to grow? You've decided to commit to it. And I want to just throw this in as well. This isn't about pushing. So as I took you through those numbers, there was an element of, keep going. But the keep going doesn't always mean pushing yourself, whipping yourself, working really hard and doing. Sometimes the keeping going is just keeping your head in the game. Sometimes the keeping on going is allowing yourself to rest on that day. So it doesn't look the same for all of us, right? There was, like, today I felt really tired because I didn't sleep so well last night. So I felt like just abandoning like everything. I had a moment earlier, I was like, oh, I can't do anything. And I thought, no, because my version of keeping on going is to do some of the things that I said I was going to do without pushing and forcing myself, but just taking small action steps and allowing some things just to move along. So allowing yourself to just create momentum, but sometimes that does require you to replenish, restore, take time out, rest. But maybe your way of moving forwards is to go and restore yourself, right? Or to take a rest. But it's always staying in that mindset of you're not giving up, you're not giving in, you're going to stay the course. You're just going to stay the course. So that is a great, I think, kind of message around growth, like massive growth, perseverance, and really sticking to it. And the reality of it, of absolute transformation, requires us to have those energies. This transformation is what I'm all about. If you want to make small changes and things, you can. But when you're talking big transformations, and I've done a few of them now in different areas, and I'm still doing them, it does require some digging deep. And it does require us to be persevering and resilient and strong in that. Maybe not 24/7, but not to give up. But don't give up before the tipping point, because it's just as we saw in the last few days, right? That's where it can just tip and then momentum comes. And, it's what people always see as, oh, that person had overnight success. But they don't see all the years that went into the lead up of that. And yeah, they did that one thing and in a week, their whole life changed. It was that week plus all the months or years or weeks or whatever they put into it, building up to that. So remember that. I think it's a great message to remember, like, just keep going, just move yourself forward. So on the subject of that, if you're still watching, if you just want to receive that message, that's cool. Just want to quickly share, if you're interested, of how I can help you. So I've got a few ways actually, but just to keep it simple, if you're wanting help with your transformation, or to really two ways I want to share with you very quickly. One is a single session, and this is to cut through the noise of, if you really want to build momentum and stay the course, what I feel anyway it requires is for you to be very connected with a deep knowing of what you're actually here on a soul level to do, whether this aligns with you on a very deep level. And this is something I come back to all the time with myself. I know my mission and I know my soul blueprint is to do certain things, so that keeps me really able to stick to what I'm saying I'm going to do and create momentum with these areas. So I have the single session that you can book with me, and these are, I won't even kind of downplay it, they are life transforming, because they really cut through and will get into your soul blueprint, your mission, your plans here, what you need to know right now. We channel the direct information through, help you with the activations, help you with the energy shifts, whatever you're needing to really get in touch with that. That is super, super powerful. So you can check out, if you go to theawakerevolution.com/session, or feel free to message me for the link. So yeah, that's available. Definitely recommend that. And then the other way, for those of you who are wanting more in-depth transformation, I work with people on a longer basis. So however long that looks, it's different for different people. I have quite a few different ways, different packages available. So if you go to theawakerevolution.com/transformation, you can find a little video message there for you, and you can book a call to explore with me, or feel free to message me on that if you know, especially if you worked with me before and you just want details, you're ready to go, you just want to know what it will look like, you can message me and I can send you the info links that way. But yeah, it's sometimes we need help on this journey, and this is what I'm about. So I'm all about transformation. I want to see people undergo the most beautiful, expansive transformations, massive soul level, personal, business, creativity, development, whatever area that you're looking at. But regardless of that, message me if you're interested in any of those. But regardless of that, understanding that you just got to stay in the game and keep moving yourselves forwards in little steps. It doesn't have to be big, gigantic steps, but it's the compound effect. Little steps, they all build a picture. Anything big I've ever done has come from lots of small decisions, choices and action steps, decisions, choices and action steps, over and over and over, even when there's no evidence to show that it's actually working, it's actually doing something. So even when I was ill, I had to get into this kind of belief or kind of focus that I am recovering. My body showed me no evidence of that, and I had to do all the things to help calm my nervous system down, for example, and God, like shift and release a lot of baggage and trauma and all sorts of deep healing work. And I had to keep doing it. And even though I kept doing it, there was no evidence that I was recovering. I was the same physically for a while. And then all of a sudden, you have this tipping point where you start to get change, you start to get momentum. And that's what literally I help you do, to get to that point and to keep you in the game as well, because that's a big part of it. And to guide you into, well, what is it needing your attention? What needs to release? What do you need to heal? What do you need to step into? All of this good stuff. Anyway, that's my message. So I send you lots of love. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know how you are on your journey as well. And I'd love to hear. So feel free to comment below if you're watching the replay as well. How are you doing on your journey? Do you feel like you're on this journey? Do you feel steady right now? Do you feel like a little bit wavering? What is it? And reach out if you are wanting my help, support and guidance. Yeah, you know where I am. All right, have a lovely rest of your day. And if you're watching this, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.